So I've seen a lot of interesting things in anime over this past year. A lot of good things, a lot of WTF things, but I have to admit, the end of the latest Do-Over Damsel episode might be running for the crown here. If you didn't watch after the credits, I highly recommend you go do so. Because remember that little stuffed bear? I think it was 4 episodes back. I don't remember exactly, but it's been like a month. She got a cute little bear from our boy. Am I the only one who's a little shooketh that a little birdie threw that thing out of the knapsack and it became a robot laser eye? I mean, I gotta assume it's like a mecha. I don't know, but that thing had Cyclops laser vision. That's like the coolest thing and dumbest thing and weirdest thing all in one. Did our boy install safety measures so that if anyone tried to mess around, they would find out if they were trying to screw with Jill? That's the only thing that makes sense to me. But Jesus, when I see, oh, there's a little bit after the credits, yeah, someone's probably gonna jump. There's gonna be something exciting. But Laser Bear? I love this medium, man. It is the dumbest medium at times, but it is so freaking, it's ridiculous in the best way. I got full live reactions over on Patreon. If you want to see my full and thoughts to any of these episodes, over there exclusively. So I did watch last week's episode. Just this show's not really that popular, so if I don't have the time, I just watch it on Patreon only. Did enjoy last week, but episode 10 was much better if you ask me, so we're mainly going to be talking about that one. The thing about episode 10 that I like is that when you consider the fact that this is a show that's pretty heavily influenced on avoiding the initial loop, right? Where I'm pretty sure the sister took her life, brother betrays brother, there's a lot of chaos that happens. And while this isn't the first show to do the whole idea that, hey, I'm restarting a loop, we have 7-time loop the villainess as an example, right? It's not the first show that is doing this, but I have noticed in terms of other stories I've seen, even outside of anime, where it can be a little easy for the show to avoid referencing or really getting across that this is very close to going bad like something from before. And I think a great example is when our boy jumps up to strike down his sister. Jill is there to say, don't do it, you don't have to kill her yet. And we go from him in this murderous rampage to, back to the kind of calm boy he is when he's around her. And he obviously passes out because he's drained using all that magic. But still, the fact that it's so easy for this family to be at each other's throats. We don't know exactly why the sister betrayed us. It definitely was not something she wanted to do. That's something we can say for sure. It seems like probably Jill's life was supposed to be spared based on her reaction to how the uncle tossed her away and burned her. I don't know. It ain't looking good, that's for damn sure. But either way, it seems like her hand was forced, that her bro, which it doesn't make sense, right? Because literally the scene prior to with them all together, she hugs and says, Jill, take care of my brother. It gave me Death Flag vibes, but like you wouldn't expect her to betray Hades, but here we are betraying Hades. So something had to have happened where maybe it's a needs of the many versus needs of the few, sacrificing your brother to save who knows how many. I don't know. But she doesn't come across as a bad person and was very visibly shooketh by how the uncle was reacting and going against plans. But you look at these scenes where, for our boy, when everything's hitting the fan, he's expecting to go at it alone. Like, of course, no matter how good things seem, he gets betrayed. No one trusts him because he's a cursed child at the end of the day. And the fact that his bro was there saying, like, of course I'm not betraying you. Because even though shit's not looking good, apparently we were able to use the dragon troops. But here they are jumping our bitch ass. And we have a crew. We have a group of people who are like, no, we will fight by your side. We will die for you. And he sends them all away, saying, that's all I needed to see. You guys don't have to sacrifice your life, because ultimately, for him knowing that these people aren't betrayers, he's probably incredibly upset by his sister, as seen by the death blow strike. But at the same time, the fact that not everyone did betray him is enough for him to say, I'll hold them off, value your life, you don't have to sacrifice it. A very powerful moment, and it's very depressing because we felt like we had, or at least for me, I felt like we had so much progress with all the family members, and here we are because this uncle is just a capital D douchebag. Really hoping he dies before the season's up, because I don't see just simply imprisoning him as working. Public execution is really the only way I feel like we get away from people betraying us, but time will tell. The thing that is going to be interesting, though, is I'm not sure what's being implied with what happened to Jill, because he grabbed Jill by the head, threw her off the dragon, and it looked like she got breathed, like the fire breath on her. I don't know exactly what she did to save herself, because you know she did, but still, just wild episode. And I think the thing that makes this episode so good too is that there is a scene by the campfire with these three, and just their dialogue, and knowing that 2/3 of this group are ready to pull a knife and stab the other in the throat, but it's more of a, it's worthwhile helping you. Maybe we gotta be concerned about what happens after we succeed in helping you. But it's so interesting how what should be enemies can be allies, and just slight differences put them on different paths, but they're more similar than different. It's just really the side they fight for might be just slightly, you know, wanting different things. And it's so interesting because we've kind of made this makeshift group of, you know, delinquents in a way. And it's just, there's so much potential for such a peaceful and prosperous future, but the uncle just had to mess around and find out. Because when you think of the midway point of the show, or like episode 7 or 8, wherever it was, when the uncle first did everything, we had the general public believing in our emperor once again, and then he had to do this bullshit in terms of saying, oh, you know, he's the false emperor. It's like, we need to solve some shit ASAP, because it's getting heated. Overall, though, I'll say I think the show's at its best when it's at its most serious. I think the goofy, the silly, the slightly romantic, it can work, but it's not really my favorite cup of tea. So I think that's a big reason why I like this episode a lot more than probably, say, the last episode. I just felt like there was more seriousness to it. And I think the seriousness, like, I would prefer the show to stick to like a 70% serious and 30% goofy. Having an unexpected stuffed animal with laser eyes, why not? But you know, when they get to just constantly silliness, and I'm like, okay, well, let's just focus more on the serious again. That's kind of how I feel. But episode 10, definitely one of the strongest in the past month of this show for sure. And who knows where they're going to take it from here. Do let me know what you thought down below, because for the love of God, if someone, unless I'm misremembering when they previewed Laser Eyes, no one should have saw that stuffed animal coming. Let's be 100% real. I'm sure some people say it's a little too ridiculous. For me, I'm saying that's the right amount of ridiculous. Gotta love anime. Your thoughts down below. Leave a like if you enjoyed, subscribe if you're new around here. Of course, ring that bell, and like I mentioned, we got those full live reactions over on Patreon, and hey, while you're over there, I'll also give you a video shout out. Alright, so today we got Arctic Fox, Nicole, Azuro, Nebzen10, Ikono, Christian Navidad, Ricardo, Kendro Tabashi, and we also have Stinamore. So I appreciate the support, everyone. Please take care. You'll have a good one.